What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Redriveraviation. Hope you guys had a fantastic day today. And today we have massive unboxing number 30 for you guys. I really hope you guys are excited for today's video. Today we have a very exciting massive unboxing in store for you guys. Quite a different one to say the least, but I'm really excited for this and I hope you guys are as well. So let's just go ahead and dive straight into this. So this package right here is very interesting in that this is going to be a massive unboxing out of a box that's fairly small considering that there should be about 10 models in here. So what happened was on eBay, I was scrolling through a couple months ago and then I found a listing, or a bid I should say, that was really incredible. So there was 10 models there and I think the starting bid was like at $75 and they didn't have their boxes, as you can tell, but there was some really good models in there and I was like, you know, this looked pretty good for the value even without the boxes, so I think I'm going to go ahead and bid on this. And I did just that, and I ended up winning the bid for about $160, which for 10 models, you can do the math. It was something like that. I honestly can't remember, but there was several. I was like, for that many models, I thought that it was absolutely incredible. And that is exactly what we're going to be taking a look at today. So we're going to see what a random eBay lot on eBay can get you in terms of models for $160, and I'm really excited for the experience. So without any further delay, I just paid $160 from a random eBay seller, and this is what we got with no boxes. So there definitely are pros and cons to all this, and hopefully it was packaged nicely so nothing broke. But without any further delay, let's go ahead and get into this. So we'll just go one by one and I'll show you guys every single model in here. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first model we have right here, let me go ahead and bring you guys down. I guess I'll just pull them out one by one and just start showing them, and then we will review them as well. So the first model ahead, this was kind of one that I already have, and I think there's multiple duplicates in here, so definitely be ready for that. But you can't go wrong with one of these. I mean, come on now. And some of them do have slight damage, so keep that in mind. But I think the majority of them should be in perfect condition. I think this is one of them. And this is the GeminiJets 1-400 Allegiant Air MD-80. How about this? So super excited to have this, as this is of course a really nice model. As you guys know, I do have one already, but it can't hurt to have another, especially for the price point. So let's go ahead and get into the details. Alrighty everybody, and here we have the GeminiJets 1-400 scale Allegiant Air MD-80. So I'm super excited to have another one of these, and it's really cool as I believe this is a different version than the one I have. I believe I have a 2015 release. I believe this might be the latest release they did. So certainly very excited to have this, and this looks like a really nice model. So let's go ahead and get into the details, everybody. Alrighty everybody, let's go ahead and get started. So right here you have your cockpit windows along with the nose cone. Really nice nose cone here for the GeminiJets MD-80, so I think they did a really good job on that. Then you have the nose landing gear and nose landing gear door with the fleet code, which is very nice. And then we have the L1 boarding door, and then the simple Allegiant billboard titles. This was the final livery that the Allegiant MD-80 wore, was the Travel is Our Deal color scheme. So that is exactly what we have here. Allegiant Air, I believe, has about 160 seats on these before they retired them, so looking really nice right here, so glad to get to see that. And then the middle of the fuselage is pretty simple. You do have the Travel is Our Deal titles right here in the emergency exits right here with the pad for it, so that's certainly very nice. It is a one-piece mold, as you can see, but they did a really nice job consolidating that, so it looks really good. And you also have the main landing gear and then the wings right here, which also looks super nice. And then you have the flaps as well, which also looks super good. I think the red tip right there is a really unique part of this livery. The registration of this aircraft is November 876 Juliet Alpha, and then you have the L2 door along with the passenger windows back there right next to that beautiful JT8D engine, man. That looks so good. I believe it's the 219 variant, so that looks absolutely awesome. And then, of course, you have the sun right there on the Allegiant tail. Absolutely beautiful, and it looks super nice, which is just absolutely awesome. On the right side of the aircraft, you have comparable details, of course, as you can see. The nose landing gear height might be a little too high, but it certainly isn't bad. You also have your baggage litter doors right there as well. And I believe you have one right there too. The top of the aircraft is nice and simple. You do have a beacon, which looks really nice. And then the bottom of the aircraft just has the GeminiJets logo in a stand hole, and everything else looks really good. Very nice job here by GeminiJets. This is a super cool model and definitely starting to work towards that 160. Very nice effort right there. All right, everybody. So the next aircraft we have is another Allegiant Air aircraft, believe it or not. And this is going to be an Airbus A319. So I also already do have this model, but this is still a really nice one to have another one of, if I can get it out of the bubble wrap here. And here we have the GeminiJets 1-400 scale Allegiant Air Airbus A319 Fantasy with sharklets. This is certainly a very cool model. Of course, as you all know, I already do have this one, but this is still a really nice aircraft, even with the QC deficiencies, as you can see right here. So let's go ahead and get started. Alrighty everybody, so here we go. So here we have the cockpit windows and nose cone. Definitely some desire to be left here with the nose cone, but still looks pretty good. You have the warning panel right here, and then the L1 boarding door. The antenna I just fixed looks much better now, and then you have the nose landing gear right here, which is also very nice. Here's the Allegiant titles. They look really nice and bold. Of course, this is their newest paint scheme, so it's really cool to see GeminiJets getting after that with this aircraft. And then we have the CFM 50s, or sorry, this is a CFM, I think it's a 56, something like that. But nevertheless, we do have the CFM engine here, which looks very good, a little big on the Gemini mold, but what can I say? And then you have the emergency exit hatches right there, which also looks super good, and the pads for those, which is very nice. You got some flap, slat, and speed brake detail in the beautiful sharklet here. That's fantasy, but it certainly looks very nice. They do have these on their Airbus A320s, and they do look really good, so that's certainly a nice attribute of that right there. Here's the back portion of the aircraft. Of course, you have the orange, yellow, and then into the blue with no registration, of course, because it is a fantasy model. And then you have the beautiful sun there for Allegiant as well. There were the main landing gear as well, by the way. Sorry, I wasn't able to get after that. And a couple of antennas back here too. Now, it is unfortunate that there is a couple paint chips on this model. The pictures were pretty vague, so I honestly didn't see it. But nevertheless, we do have a couple paint chips up here, and that's kind of to be expected with some of these. So when you buy a $160 lot, still very good though, and I definitely can tolerate it for my personal collection. On the back side over here, you also have a couple, which is quite unfortunate, but nevertheless, what can I say? It is a $160 lot after all, with not many pictures. The top of the aircraft looks super nice right there, no damage, so that's certainly very nice. And the bottom's also in pretty good condition. A couple scuffs there on the back, but overall not too bad. So certainly very nice to have another Allegiant A319 for the collection. I might keep this one for my personal collection since the other one I have is fine, so I could sell that. But nevertheless, certainly many ways to go about that, but still looking good to have this one. Alrighty everybody, so the next model on deck is a very exciting one. Now, I do not have one of these in my collection, and it kind of stinks that it doesn't have a box like all of these, but it's certainly very exciting no matter what. So let's see if I can slowly march it out of here. And that is going to be the GeminiJets 1:400 scale Delta Airlines McDonnell MD-88 in the widget livery. So I was very, very stoked to get this aircraft out of this, and the crazy news is there may be more where this came from, so definitely stay on the lookout for that. But nevertheless, certainly very, very glad to have this one in the collection, as it is a super nice model, and it looks really, really good. So I'm really glad to have this. I do have the 1:200 version I got previously, and now I have this 1:400 version as well, which is super, super nice. So really glad to have this, and this will be a very nice aircraft for the fleet. So this definitely is like it. I know it doesn't have the box, but still makes up for a good portion of the 160. So it's like, dang, and we're not even quite close to done here. So nevertheless, let's go ahead and get into this. Alrighty everybody, so let's go ahead and get started. So right here you have the anti-glare nose cone, which looks really cool, and this mold's also super good, just like the previous MD-80 we just assessed, but I think the height of the nose landing gear is different, so that's certainly nice, as I think it does look better on this one, but it's kind of hard to tell. Nevertheless, right here you have the cockpit windows, and then the L1 boarding door and the Delta widget right here. Then you have your beautiful colors of the red line, and then you have the navy line, and then the white on the top and bottom, and then you have the beautiful Delta widget titles, as you can see right there. They look really good in the United States flag. Now, you would have some first class up here, of course, and some economy plus and that sort of deal, and then you go into the main economy, so that's certainly very nice right there. So that's looking very good. Sorry, I got to take the phone out of the pocket. It's too distracting. Nevertheless, moving into the economy section, we got some really good looking economy back there, of course. And then here on the front, you have the silver underbelly, which also looks super nice on this aircraft. Here is the main exits right here, and you got the beacon as well, which is super nice. And you got the emergency exit pad here, which is a different design from the previous MD-80, so that's certainly nice. And then the mold, really, really nice job here, as this is the first two-piece mold, so I guess they are slightly different, which is interesting to think about, but nevertheless, it looks super good. So here's your wing detail with the flap, slat, and speed brakes, along with the main landing gear and the wingtips, which are very nice. And then you have the registration November 956 Delta Lima in the L2 door, and then the windows back there behind the engine. I think somewhere in the ballpark of about right here to right here is about the best area, but there's certainly many ways to go about that, so that's certainly very cool. And you have the Delta widget right here on the GT8Ds, once again, one of the best engines in the world in my humble opinion. And then you have the beautiful Delta widget right there, which looks really cool, very iconic, and Deltas always stick to their widget design, so can you blame them? I don't think you can. Here's the right side as well, and you should have some baggage loader doors, which is super cool. And then you also got one back there as well, just like the previous Mad Dog. The top of the aircraft looks super nice, as you can see right there, so very nice job right there. And the bottom also looks super good, nice and chrome, and in really good condition. So yeah, like I said, but this by itself is a really good part of that 160, but the crazy part is we're really not even close to done yet. So this lot really proven to be strong so far. Alrighty guys, so the next model on deck is another one that I already have, although this might be a different tail number, but I do need to see, and that is going to be the GeminiJets 1-400 scale United Airlines Boeing 737-800 in the Continental Globe livery. Now as you can see, this model was overcompensated for in packing, and unfortunately the wings slightly bent here, so I'm going to see if I can put it back into place and see how successful I can be with that, so let's see what I can do here. That looks, dang it, the right scimitar broke off, crap. Sorry about that, everybody. I've not been able to find it, but hopefully it's somewhere in the box. But I am going to repair this right side, as this is very salvageable, which it appears to be that is looking pretty good. So outside of missing a scimitar, I guess we could turn it into a blended winglet aircraft. It's still looking pretty good. I've never reviewed one of these on my channel, so we might as well take a look. Even though it's a very simple aircraft, it's a very good looking one. So let's go ahead and take a look. And here's the GeminiJets 1-400 scale United Airlines Boeing 737-800 in the Continental Globe livery. Certainly unfortunate that scimitar broke off, but hopefully I'll be able to find it and at least glue back at the very least. Again, if I did a really good job, it would probably be another tolerable model for the collection, but again, these are the risk and rewards when you pay for models without boxes, so what can I say, but at least we're doing fairly good for the most part, so we'll figure it out. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and get into this. Alrighty everybody, so let's go ahead and get started. So right here we have the cockpit windows along with the nose cone, then we have the Star Alliance logo in the L1 boarding door, then we have the white, orange, and gray livery here of the Continental Globe, which is super nice. The orange sheet line that is goldish, orange, it kind of looked orange on the LCD, but that's goldish, my bad, sorry about that everybody. And then we have the nose landing gear door along with the nose landing gear. I can't see if that says ETOPS or not, but nevertheless looking very good. And then we have the United Airlines billboard titles right here, which looks super nice on this aircraft. They did a very good job with constructing this livery, and it's very nice. So really good job here by GeminiJets to represent it. Then we have the antenna on the bottom, and then we have our first class into the economy plus into the economy, and then we have the CFM56s right here. They look very nice, certainly glad you get to see them. A little bit of a slight downwards trajectory, but nevertheless not bad, so we love to see it. Then we have the overwing exits right here along with this paint chip right here. Again, kind of small, kind of not, you know, it's tough. We have this antenna in the Wi-Fi box as well. Then we have the scimitar. Again, I'm going to have to look through the packing very in depth once this is concluded, but unfortunately I kind of need that second half of the scimitar, but the model it's really challenging with some of these, like the actual like MD-80s aren't that bad, and even some of the sharklets, but when you start getting these really thin parts of the winglet, it can be very challenging for them not to break off. So hopefully I'll be able to find the part, but nevertheless, at least I was able to get the other side working. Then we have the back of the aircraft right here. You have the main landing gear as well, and some really good detail here on the wing with the emergency exit, flap, slat, and speed brake. And then we have the L2 door along with the US flag, and then we have the registration November 76529 looking very good. Here's the tail right here as well. We have the blue and gold, looks very good, along with the horizontal stabilizers as well. Here's the right side of the aircraft in much better condition with the wings, so that's certainly very nice, the winglets that is. Here is the, this is the luggage door, excuse me. Installation in my room, I need some better installation. It gets so hot, but nevertheless, when it's warm outside, and then when it's too cold, and I can't find a balance. But this turned out really good considering how bent it was, so I'm certainly glad that I was able to put it back into place. Could do a little bit more work on the wing, but certainly a much better position than what it was, so that's certainly very nice. And then we have the back of the aircraft as well looking super good. Here's the top of the aircraft, looks very good too, and then the bottom also in very good condition. Overall, despite the scimitar, this is a very good aircraft. I'm certainly very glad to have it. Certainly shows what happens when you buy models without boxes, but nevertheless, just be very delicate, and you should be in good shape, although you can't control all eBay sellers, and probably not to fault the seller, as I doubt that they had much knowledge on model aircraft collecting. If they probably just were handing down these models, if I had to guess, with no boxes, so what can I say? But nevertheless, looking very good. And I'm not sure how this happened, to be quite honest. I mean, I saw it in the listing and just was kind of dumbfounded. It's really even more dumbfounding to actually have it. But not only one of these, but this guy somehow, some way, had two of them. So now we have two perfect condition Delta Airlines McDonnell MD-88. It's certainly super cool, and I'm really glad to have both of these. Now, it's very interesting in the fact that they had no boxes and both came in perfect condition, so that's super impressive. But honestly, these two by themselves, I think, make up the 160, even despite the fact that they don't have boxes. It's still very impressive, though, at the very least, and I guess I have two of these for now. So looking very good, and somehow I have two. So let's go ahead and I'll just live unbox the next one. I've been trying to get the tape off of all of these, so that's why it's been so hard. So let me go ahead and pull another mystery out here. Okay, this next one, this might be one of the final aircraft that is unique, as there's more duplicates in there. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and pull this out and see what this is all about, because this will be another new aircraft for my collection. I'm very stoked about it. I'm not sure how I'm going to get to use it yet, but nevertheless, it certainly builds on a airline that I only have one aircraft of. So I'm certainly very glad to have it at the very least, and it will be a great aircraft no matter what, as long as we're in good condition, and we're looking so good so far. Alrighty everybody, and here we have the GeminiJets, a 1:400 scale Hawaiian Airlines Boeing 717-200. Super excited to have this, as again, this is another really nice part of this package. No box, of course, as we know, but this is a very beautiful aircraft, and I'm so glad to have it. It is really pretty, and this will be a great addition to the collection, so let's go ahead and take a look. Alrighty everybody, so here we go. So here's the cockpit windows and the nose shape, definitely slightly different compared to our beautiful MD-80, so let me go ahead and bring it in here for the comparison. Definitely a little bit more stubby, but that's what makes the 717 unique. It's kind of the stubby version of the MD-80 or souped up DC-9. So looking very cool, and that looks outstanding. And then we have, it says something down there, I can't see it. And then we have the nose landing gear door there as well. That looks super nice. The O1 boarding door, and then we have the Hawaiian Airlines billboard titles. Really cool to have another Hawaiian Airlines aircraft at long last. It has been quite some time since I've got one. In fact, it was summer of 2020 when I got the NG Models 330, so I'm certainly very glad to have this one to complement it. The Hawaiian lay looks super good on this aircraft. GeminiJets did a fantastic job constructing that, so there it is right there. What a beautiful lay right there we have. And we have the emergency exits across the wing, which are kind of disguised by the lay, so that's definitely very cool. Along with the emergency exit pad right there, and we have the main landing gear, some flap slat and speed brake detail. And then we have the beautiful registration November 490 Hotel Alpha, and then we also have the windows going back there behind the engine as well. Speaking of which, there it is. What a beautiful engine, along with getting the flowers on there. It looks super nice. And then we have the beautiful Tale of Hawaiian, which is so pretty with that nice lady on there, along with the beautiful flowers. We have purple, we have maroon, we have pink, we have kind of a red, we have the orange flowers. I mean, does it get any better than that? I don't think so. Beautiful aircraft, man. I mean, this is super nice. You got your baggage door right here, and you also got one underneath the engine there too, which is beautiful. And then for the top of the aircraft, of course, you got some really nice details, including a beacon, and on the bottom you also got the lay extending back there with the flowers. I mean, that's just super pretty. Overall, this is a beautiful aircraft, and I'm so glad to have this one. It will be a great addition, and again, I'm not sure how I'm going to utilize it yet in Great Plains and whatnot, but nevertheless, I'm so excited to have it, and this is a beautiful looking aircraft. So wonderful job here by GeminiJets, and certainly glad to have my first Hawaiian 717, and this may only be like my second or third one in the collection, considering I only have the Delta, I believe, and there's a couple others on the way. Super stoked about this. Thank you, Gemini. This is fantastic. Holy crap, so I actually forgot about this model in here. I probably forgot because I think it has some slight damage, but let me go ahead and get it out. Alrighty everybody, so next up we have another duplicate from my collection, a more recent one that is, and this is a pretty good model. One slight defect, but it's all good, and that is the GeminiJets 1:400 scale Spirit Airlines Airbus A321 Indy Bearfare livery. Certainly excited to have another one of these, even though we are missing antenna, as you guys can see. Outside that, this aircraft's in really good condition, and I'm very glad to have another one, especially, I mean, it's kind of a package deal at this point. So nevertheless, with the slight damage, let's go ahead and take a look. Alrighty everybody, so here we go. So here we have the cockpit windows in the nose cone. Nose cone, as we've talked about on these Airbuses, isn't the best, but also isn't the worst. We have the Airbus titles in the hazard right here, along with the L1 door. Then we have the nose landing gear, very nicely done, along with no antenna, unfortunately, because it probably fell out on the previous owner. Then we have our economy here on Spirit. They're all economy, therefore you're just going to find economy seats. Well, I guess the big front seat as well, so can't forget about that. Here's the L2 door, and then we have the beautiful IAE engines with the Bearfare right there. That's super nice, excuse me. Here we have the Spirit titles with the scratches through them, so that's certainly very nice. And you guys may remember some of these models from previous unboxings. This one, the most recent, as I believe this was a mass unboxing 10, although I could be wrong. Here is the wing right here. We have some beautiful flap and slat detail right there. We also have the beautiful Shotcut as well as Spirit.com on it, and it has Howdy on the other side, which is very cool. Here is the L3 door along with the Wi-Fi box. I know a bunch of people wanted yellow on that. Maybe I could experiment with my other and paint it yellow. I haven't decided yet. I mean, Spirit does have a bunch of wardrobe malfunctions, so it wouldn't be the end of the world if it was a slightly different color of yellow. And we have the two antennas back here as well. We have the L4 door along with the registration. This is November 672 November kilo, excuse me. And then we have the Spirit on the tail as well, and some APU detail along with the horizontal stabilizers. On this side of the aircraft, you have comparable details. Nose doesn't look as good from the right side, so we'll just go ahead and ignore that. So overall, you also have the luggage doors as well. top of the aircraft is pretty standard in reference to the design, and the bottom's also pretty good with the GeminiJets stand hole, GeminiJets logo, stand hole, and all that fun stuff. Overall, nice to have another one of these. I could experiment with it, could use it as a custom model to do something different with it. Not quite sure what I want to do here with no antenna, but nevertheless, I may end up just keeping it and selling my good version with the antenna. So I haven't decided yet, but nevertheless, we'll figure it out, but certainly glad to have it. Dang it. Well, everybody, I am currently assessing a model here. This one is very unfortunate, as this one has also had a similar issue to a previous one, but the good news is I have found a part for it, but I can't find the place where I can start unwrapping it. All right, how about, whoa, all right. Well, yeah, this one was well over packaged. Alrighty, everybody, so the next aircraft, you thought the first United 737 was bad. Well, this is even worse. All right, so this one was well over packaged. I mean, you can't blame the person, especially if they're not knowledgeable in the field. So unfortunately, we have a severely damaged United 737. I mean, this is exactly what you're going to find if you don't have boxes for your aircraft. This was packaged very tightly in bubble wrap. You've seen all the examples. I'm going to get, there's only one more anyways, probably one more duplicate. Yeah, I know which one this is. So I'm going to go ahead and unwrap this one as we're speaking. But it's if you over tighten these aircraft, like this one's nicely packaged here. It's not tight, but again, you don't have the scimitars. If you over package very delicate sides of the aircraft, then you're kind of in the room for disaster. So it's still all good. Again, I mean, we definitely made some really good value here. I thought the 2 Deltas in Hawaiian was worth it by itself, but I have, hopefully, if I get this out with no issues. I don't think this one had issues. Hopefully not. Let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, yeah, so this was the Allegiant MD-80, a previous release, but with missing nose landing gear. So, you know, it's not perfect, that's for darn sure, and I won't review the other Allegiant. It's very comparable to the first one. We did really good for the value here, and I'm not saying that it's perfect. I'm also not saying that it was my best decision on money, but I mean, there are 5 very good models here that aren't damaged. So yeah, everybody, like I was saying, it's not going to be perfect, that's for darn sure, but I mean, we still did pretty well. That United 737 definitely was the most challenging part, that's for darn sure. But the Allegiant MD-80, the one with the nose wheels, is perfect. The Spirit is borderline. The 2 Deltas, the Hawaiian. The other United's honestly really close. Sorry that wasn't in here. Let me get that in there. So that one's also very close, and then the Allegiants are what they are, the 319 that is. But still really good though. I thought that we did a pretty good job here, and I'll go ahead and line all these aircraft up. But yeah, certainly a very unique unboxing, but hey, I thought the Delta and Hawaiian was definitely worth it by itself, but the etched Allegiant certainly helps. The Spirit's borderline the close. The Allegiant's honestly really close. So what I could do is I could take some of the models out of my collection and sell the good ones, and then deal with the slight damage. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and take a look. Alrighty, everybody, so here's the 9 models that we got today, so let's go ahead and take a look at these. Starting right here, we have the GeminiJets 1:400 scale Allegiant Air MD-80. This, of course, has the missing nose tires, but outside that is in very good condition. So I'm not sure exactly what I want to do here. I could try to get some MD-80 tire parts or something, but nevertheless, looking really good. Then we're going to go on a streak of really good models, including the Allegiant Air MD-80. This is the latest release, I believe, 876 Juliet Alpha, or Golf Alpha, excuse me. I don't know why I'm getting Juliet and Golf confused so bad, but nevertheless, very good model. I'm certainly very glad to have it. It looks really good. Here's the side-by-side between those two. Some slight differences. And then we have the 2 beautiful Delta Airlines McDonnell MD-88 in the widget livery. Certainly very glad to have both these, and honestly, I think the haul was worth it just for these 2. They both look super nice and are in very good condition, so I'm very happy about that. And what a nice haul right there just for those 2. So I was really impressed. If I had to pick the 2 models that I wanted to come in good condition, it would have to be these 2, or even some of the others. The Hawaiian Boeing 717 was also a fantastic addition. I'm super glad to finally have this one in my collection at long last. Beautiful livery, and it looks super, super nice. And I'm glad to always build up on the MD-95 collection, 717, so looking very good right there. I don't think I need to do much explaining on that. It's very unfortunate for that United 737-800. I might try to fix it, but honestly, that one's probably too far gone. So definitely a good try, but unfortunate that it got overpackaged. This one, on the other hand, I do think has some potential. And luckily, I did find this. This was from the other one, but I'm thinking it would work right there. So I may try that, see what I can do with it. But nevertheless, if I could even salvage one of them, might try to use that as a parts model. I could use some antennas and all various parts off that. We'll see. This one, though, I do think is salvageable.
And the Allegiant is very close to salvageable as well, really both these, the Allegiant and the Spirit. The Allegiant, of course, with a little bit of damage on the tail. Outside that, it's in very good shape, so I'm very glad to have it. And then the Spirit Airbus A321, just missing antenna. Outside that is a very good model, and I'm super glad to have it. So, very unique massive unboxing. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. There'll be another one coming out soon, since I know this wasn't really a full-fledged one with several duplicates. I think there was only those 2 models that were new for my collection. Outside that, everything else has been reviewed. Excuse me. Reviewed or has been on this channel at some point. So definitely expect another really fun massive unboxing. Not sure if it will be retro or modern yet. I do have several of each, so we'll see where we go from here. But I really hope you guys are excited for it. It's going to be super fun and a really fun unboxing ahead. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. My name is Redriveraviation. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Take it easy, everybody. Stay safe. Trust the process. Do you love and love you do. My name is Redriveraviation. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon as Redriveraviation is signing off.